They sort of have an homage to his wire suspense sequence where he takes the wire out of a helicopter into a small vent that he has to get into and have the rope be pulled back out of in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And again,
and once again, it even does a bit of a callback to kind of his like ballet like technique when he's
falling and then he lands
graceful.
and he's
yeah. It's very cool.
Yeah, Tom Cruise's physical performance in here is, again, because the stunts call for it, is just more impressive only because...
Only Cruise could pull this shit off, I swear to God.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if you heard the bit about the knife bit. Did you hear about the knife bit?
I don't think I did.
In the final climactic fight with the villain, there's a bit where a knife almost gets into his eye. And like the villain goes like, whoo!
Oh, that shot is insane.
He did that.
Are you fucking kidding?
And John Woo, who is an absolute madman, get this, John Woo is a crazy man. He said, "You don't have to do that. Like, I'll just like we can just fake, like we can get the knife like, you know, like a few inches away, and then we'll cut and we'll have the knife already there. Like, it's fine. Like that'll work in my editing style. You don't have to do this." And Tom Cruise was like, "No, I want him to have that knife exactly 1/4 inch away from my eyeball." And they measured it out.
That's fucking nuts.
And they measured it out so that it would exactly do that. And he said, and they said, okay, well, at least we're gonna get the dude to do it a little slower than he usually would. And he was like, no, I want that guy going full speed, full intensity.
Fuck him. Like, just because I know if I did any of this, I would die.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise has Lord Zeno on his side, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. How is like Tom Cruise's only major injury was on the most recent movie where he like broke his ankle or something? Like, how is that
sprained my ankle, like broke a pinky. Like, fucking dude. When I saw that shot, my brain did like because I understand.
You think it's
that
movie
Cruise,
magic, yeah,
right? But I also had the thought that Cruise wants to do these stunts, and I wasn't sure which movie he started to really focus and do that. So I guess it was this one. And when I saw that shot, I was like, that looks so real. But it looked so real that I went, there's no way Cruise would have that happen. Because that is literally a career-ending move if the thing goes 1/4 inch forward. Yeah. So it's just... I'm mind blown right now. I can't believe that that's actually a fucking real shot.
Yeah, he actually did that because he's an absolute idiot.
Yeah, yeah. What a madman. But I mean,
and again, it works perfectly too because there's like an extreme close up of that shot as it's happening, and you can see Cruise's eye being like, "Oh, that knife almost went into it."
Yeah.
But John Woo is awesome at these little tiny detailed,
son of a bitch,
extreme close up shots, like that bit where there's the close up on the cigar cutter that the villain uses, where it's like. And then you're like, oh, he's gonna do something with that, and then he uses it like 10 seconds later on his henchman's finger.
Yeah.
The amount of sort of like small gestures but like really huge impacts in this film, which is super John Woo, is amazing. The shootout that takes place in the lab is amazing, especially because there's a lot of intense melodramatic emotions flying, and the music really reflects that with like this like Spanish guitar being like, these people, they're being separated, but they're gonna get back to each other because they love each other so much. Meanwhile, like Tom Cruise,
that does give off that vibe of love, right?
Yeah,
passion.
Who has never, like passion is flying just as much as like bullets and debris is flying. It's like the idea, and dubs are flying. And Tom Cruise, who has never done action scenes this way ever again, is like firing the two Akimbo guns or whatever,
doing the woo.
It's awesome, man, because like immediately when those henchmen break into that lab, they start like sliding down the things and firing guns, and I'm like, no henchman would ever do that in any other movie.
Yeah.
Like that's
even
so
the
intense.
Henchmen of style.
That's like 0 to 100.
Like, everybody got style in this film. Everyone is the coolest version of themselves.
Yeah, man. And Tom Cruise is like sliding down cables, and he does like multiple like 360s where he's like spinning guns and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
the camera works like above him, so you see the full 360 and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great.
And even in the lab too, there's like rainbow lighting on his face where you can see all the different colors, and they're doing crazy angles with like mirrors in the backgrounds. Again, John Woo, I think underrated that people don't talk about a lot of the time is his actual like sets and I guess what they would call mise en scène, so like all the placements of objects in the set. Because again, he blows half that shit up, and he has characters interacting with it all.
You can understand it. It's not confusing.
No.
He does a really good job of making you still understand the layout of a room and not make it so convoluted that you're just kind of like, well, how did he get there? Like, because he could with all these massive explosions.
Well, and that's just it too. I would say that this movie, more than a usual John Woo movie, cuts it a little much and cuts it so that's a little bit more confusing than usual. But again, John Woo's style is just that still manages to pull through.
Yeah.
It's just a case of, his Hong Kong movies would have let him hold shots a little longer, so you would even have an even better sense of some of the stuff that he's doing. Because I want a slower cut version of that bit where he pops a front wheelie on the motorcycle while doing a 360, while the car beside him is also doing a 360, while he's also shooting the gas tank of that car until it blows up and flips while doing a 360. And again, the two shots that John Woo uses are a 360 of Tom Cruise and a 360 of the car. And if you just like did one and then cut to the other one and that was it, and you actually just two shots, that would be amazing. And again, this movie just needs to do like 4 or 5 different shots of that. And I'm like,